Thanks for joining the Real Mom Gang podcast, where 4 new moms bonded over their obsession with baby classes and keeping it real. Here's your hosts, Amanda, Chantel, Jenna, and Lauren, with special guests, their husbands, Jordan B, Josh, Jarek, and Jordan M.
Jarek.
We've decided you're Jarek because they're all J names.
Yes.
Except for
it only makes sense.
You have to make it so that they're all the same.
Interesting. I will be Jarek.
That's a better name than normal, I think.
Yeah.
I'm Jarek for tonight.
Don't mind
That's
that
your new
name.
name.
You're thinking I'd marry a Jared?
Yeah, let's change that legally.
Should we?
Maybe we should.
The court's open.
I'll
Court's
find
open on Sunday.
I'm gonna start telling all our friends like, oh yeah, Jarek, and they're gonna be like, who the hell is Jarek?
Yeah,
And
things
I'm like,
change.
oh, don't you know? Like we switched Eric's name. He is now going by Jarek.
Well, thanks for coming, guys.
You're so welcome.
We roped our husbands into joining our podcast by tempting them with beers and dinner. So we're not really sure where
Works
this will
every
go,
time.
but
Yeah.
we thought it might be nice to get another perspective on this whole parenthood thing. What is kind of one thing that's kind of surprised you guys about parenthood or fatherhood or
Motherhood.
motherhood?
I'd like to
You
check in
guys.
with Jarek. Jarek,
Jarek here, guys. Just to clear the air there, my name is actually Eric, but I'm Jarek tonight. The thing that's been most surprising to me has definitely been the fact that Chantel can live without sleep, because pre-child, she would be the type, if we got home like after 10 p.m. and she was tired, you'd hear her grunting across the house, just angry that she's not going to get like 12 hours of sleep as usual, right? So,
I'm like, oh my god, I'm only gonna get 12 hours of sleep.
yeah.
I can't do this.
So the whole time I've ever known Chantel, I've probably lived off of 4 hours less sleep than her a night. And now that's totally flipped upside down.
And that's probably changed Eric's world, because
It has,
I
for
used
sure.
to go to bed and Eric was like, sweet, I can play video games for like 4 more hours. I can like go on the computer.
I can go
do-
masturbate to porn.
Right?
You know, regular Jarek things that Jarek would just do.
Yeah, almost everything is.
Jarek ain't afraid of nothing.
And now sometimes I'm up later than him and he's like, how are you up? And I'm like, well, our daughter's up, so I'm up. And that's just the way it goes.
And she has those nights where she gets 3-4 hours of sleep if she's lucky, but she's still functioning.
Am I though?
Like this.
Am I functioning?
I don't know if she's functioning.
I don't know if she's functioning at 100% capacity,
I left my
but
groceries at the till and went home without them, so that's pretty low functioning.
She says things like vaginal instead of vaginal.
yeah,
Yes.
that was before she was a mom.
And I've
too.
told other people about my brother, which I don't have.
Yeah, she keeps referring to her husband,
As my
Jarek,
brother.
as her brother,
Yeah.
and she doesn't even have a brother.
So would that be
Yeah,
your
things
husband?
get a little blurry here.
Your husband Eric and your brother Jarek,
Yeah.
or is it vice versa?
And this podcast is
That's
only
how
going to
it's going.
confuse it even further.
Now let's
We've
get
changed
into the
my name
2
officially.
Jordans.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We can't always just pick on Chantel. Eric, I hear you have quite a story about lack of sleep.
deprived.
Yeah, that's a real thing too for me. There was one night, I think it was the second night back from the hospital. I was very foggy at this time. I very vaguely recall even this incident myself. But Chantel woke up to me at the end of the bed, frantically petting our pug that sleeps at the end of the bed. And then I guess I was grabbing Chantel by the shoulder saying, is it okay that Callie's down here? So I actually had mistaken our new daughter for our pug dog, which feel extremely different.
Thinking that you
Honest,
left
it
her at the
seemed,
end of the
I guess
bed.
it was an honest mistake at the time, but that was my
He's like, is it
dose
okay
of
that
sleep
Callie's
deprivation.
down here? And I'm like, no, it would not be okay
Yeah.
if our daughter was
So-
at the end of the bed. And it's
And she got really hairy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
She
started
She's under the blanket. She's snoring.
Yeah, so that was my sleep deprivation moment for sure. The night before that, the first night back from the hospital was really crazy for both of us because we just thought that's what every night was going to be like from that moment on. It definitely wasn't.
It got
though.
better.
It got way better.
And then it got worse.
And then it got worse, and now it's been tricky the last little bit, but it's an up and down roller coaster. That first night getting back from like the hospital and trying to get back into real life, though, we were up all night, both of us, and then at 5 a.m. like the sun was starting to come up, and I was just walking around the room with Callie, just bouncing her around and just thinking about, wow, this is what life is actually going to be like.
And I was like,
That was a scary. That was a really scary
to work
feeling.
on Wednesday, 2 days later, like.
Not to mention,
enjoy your
Chantel was
day.
panicking too because she was feeding Callie every half hour, and she thought that there was something wrong with Callie because of that too. But
Turns
then,
out cluster feeding.
yeah,
isn't
cluster
just
feeding is a real thing
every
we
2
learned.
hours. It's
so
be for hours long.
yeah. Beyond that, though, everything like gradually just got better. Like you just learn to adapt to it. Everything kind of, you just take it day by day. And the best advice we got was just do whatever works for your kid. Honestly, like no set thing has worked for us. We just take every day one at a time, freestyle it, and our kid's still alive. Our baby's still alive.
It's like your main job.
She seems happy.
It's like
she looks happy.
Even at the end
you
of the
have
bed,
to do
she's
it.
still alive.
She's even she's smiling right now. I can see her smiling, so that means something, right? So yeah.
My mom said that just a little while ago, was just whatever works for you guys.
Yeah.
Just do that. Doesn't matter what the books say, doesn't matter anything, which is good because I don't like reading the books because I'm just going to do what I'm going to do anyways.
You found out that's actually okay.
Yeah, it's worked my whole life and it's still working.
Amanda's still trying to get through the sleep Bible.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
150 pages of how to sleep train your baby.
Yeah. I
How's
have to
that
start
going?
that.
Well, it doesn't sound like you need
It's a
to.
slow read.
Now that you got Preston.
Yeah, I've garbage bagged his window, and he slept really good today. Took 2 good naps. We'll see what happens tonight. He's been sleeping in the spare room. That's his thing. He doesn't like his crib. He doesn't like our bed. He likes the spare room for some reason. Yeah, it's his room. And then Josh was like, I don't know, should we just put like bars on the queen size bed and that's his bed? I'm like, no.
Seems legit.
Yeah, of course. That's a good idea.
6 months
Like a
old,
jail.
a queen
Yeah.
size bed. Yeah. By one, he'll have a California king.
Yeah.
Living in luxury, why not?
I think they call that a hashtag dad fix.
Yeah.
Now, what's like one of your favorite things about being a dad? You guys have any like standout?
Feeding her. Because at the start, I couldn't feed her.
Oh yeah.
And I got really
Yeah.
pissed off about it.
Yeah.
Such that I texted my dad and said, I was something along the lines of, did you ever feel like you just didn't do anything? Like I completely wasn't involved whatsoever. But now that I can feed her, not breast milk, because that's weird.
You're not producing nearly
Let's just
enough.
clarify here.
No, I still have yet to lactate. It's weird. But
But you did mention something earlier.
yeah, she did try.
Your
She
shirt was
tried.
a little wet. Your shirt was a little wet when you walked in.
Has anyone ever seen that Family Guy where Peter starts to think that he's a woman, and then he has Stewie like latched onto his boob?
Yeah.
But then Stewie pulls off, and he pulls this chest hair out
That's
of
would
That's
be
what I
accurate.
feel.
Yeah.
Man.
But Chloe did try and breastfeed off
She
you
has
before.
she has tried, yes, and it
Yeah.
didn't work for either of us. But feeding her is nice. I like feeding her. That's
cool.
That's the best
That's
part.
really cool.
Gives Lauren a break too.
Yeah.
Yes.
If
To sleep.
only we
Yeah.
had that break. I wish.
Yeah. My favorite thing about being a dad is definitely every day after work, a long day's work, is getting home to see her, because she's always seems excited to see me. So that's
And I'm
my
excited
favorite
to
moment.
give her away.
And then Chantel's pretty much ready to football throw Callie at me as I walk in the door too after a long day. So yeah,
Here's your
Chantel's ready
daughter.
for it too.
It was funny at the
That's
start.
my
I
favorite
said, can we try to make sure that I don't walk in after a long day and you just go, here's the baby. And yet
Oh,
now
I
I
do
walk
that
in and
every
I'm like,
time.
where's the baby?
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it's like every day.
Yeah,
for
hi to
me
you as
too,
well,
man,
but where's
for
the baby?
sure. Yeah, that's
Yeah, they don't
exactly
care
what
anymore.
How's
it's
It's
your
like.
all
day?
about baby
Yeah.
time.
It's never how's your day. It's like how's Callie's day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is she doing?
Yeah, like before they come along, like you never know what to like expect on how life's gonna change and everything, and nothing's really like been like that surprising. But it's just it's something that I was kind of surprised at. I guess is like it really is kind of like the coolest thing, like having this little person and like watching them develop, and you come on just the smiles that you get from them, and I didn't know it was possible to like love something so much. Like it's just like, oh wow, like this is just the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, just the smiles you get out of them, and I like to read with Austin, just he starts reading along with me, and it's like he doesn't know how to talk, and he's just
He's doing something.
we're just
got
reading
it,
this
though.
thing together. I'm saying actual words, and he's just yapping away, and it's just the feeling that you get from that is pretty awesome. Like
Yeah.
it's it's great. Like I knew I'd like it. I always wanted to be a dad, but like being one, it's like I'm like this is awesome. This is just great.
Yeah, the first week especially, I remember there would be times that I would look at Jordan and be like, can you believe, like, we have a child? Like, we made a child. Like, the first week just seemed so surreal that it was like, this, like, precious little human is so cute. Like, we made this baby.
I know, it's
like,
crazy.
It's insane.
And then it's
it's
ours
such a...
and you're responsible for it.
Yeah, that was leaving the hospital,
At
right?
first,
You
that was a
leave.
big thing for us. It
And
was
then you're like,
whoa.
and now what?
You're like, you leave the hospital like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, like I feel like I'm like stealing something, like they're leaving,
Yeah.
they're letting us
So we're
go.
allowed to go? She's like, yeah. And like, so we should
like,
just go.
I don't
Yeah,
think
like, we
but
can
I don't
go.
think we're qualified.
Yeah, like, what do we do when we get home? Like,
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
nurses to help
You
us
don't
out.
want to see us put her in the car or anything like that?
Yeah.
But
You
it's
should
crazy
call
how
them
everything
watching
just comes into place. Like you're so nervous about it and you're like, can I really do this? And then all this,
Instinct
it just your instinct hits and everything comes into place. And they always say like, you don't know until it's your own. And you know, we'd watch our nieces and it was nice. But then at the end of the day, I was like, okay, you're going back. And yeah, it's so true. Once it's your own, it's like you just, I don't know. For me, I'd love to spend all my time with him. And except for tonight, he needed to have some time with his grandma because mama needed a glass of wine. But I love spending all my time with him.
Yeah, even
It's
when
so
you're
fun.
up like in the middle of the night, like you might have that split thing, like being like, oh man, I gotta get up again. But as soon as you grab them or see them or feel them,
Exactly, or
you're
hear
like,
them.
"Oh, it's okay."
Yeah.
They're
Or
little.
when they snuggle on you, like
yeah.
Chloe,
Yeah.
at night, like she doesn't want to snuggle anymore now that she's like crawling and pulling herself up. But at night, like after she's fed, she just like snuggles in your chest, and you're like, oh, this is like the greatest thing ever to just feel them like nuzzle in there and just like go to sleep on you, and you're like, life is good.
Yeah.
It might be 2 a.m., but life is still good.
And
Yeah.
then a few hours later, she wakes up screaming, and that's
And you're like,
also-
life is not good.
I-
Life is not good.
You take the good
That's-
with the bad.
That's weirdly
Yeah.
adorable as well.
Yeah.
Lately, I've found she'll be screaming in my face, and I'm like, I love you.
Yeah.
It's just so cute.
They still
Yeah.
look pretty cute.
I've
when
never
they're
been a
for
morning
sure.
person, and now every morning when I wake up, she's like the happiest little baby, and it's our favorite time. So I love
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
she's smiling at me, and she's just like, la, 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 la. And I'm like, oh my god, it's 3 in the morning, but I love you.
Yeah.
We somehow made a morning person for sure. And
Yeah,
neither of us
I
ever
don't know,
were
we all have
morning
the same
people,
situation,
so-
but
no.
we have like, Austin is such a morning baby.
Such
Like
a
it's in
morning
the
guy.
morning. That's when he's
Yeah.
like so smiley, and it's easiest to get him laugh, and like it's just
And as
he's
the
in
day
the best
progresses,
mood.
it just goes
It
downhill.
goes downhill like when it comes to like the evening.
There's
It's
a
like,
big explosion.
oh, wait, all right,
Yeah.
it's time to get you to
And then
bed.
He did good
The
tonight.
dreaded fussy hour when Eric gets home, and that's the perfect time. So I'm like, okay, here you
Yeah.
go.
But
was
is that
just
like a
all
common thing?
yours.
Is everyone dealing with
Chloe
that?
a
Where the
morning-
morning?
Chloe was the
Chloe's a
same.
morning person.
Okay.
I'm a morning person. Lauren doesn't wake up until noon and hates everything.
I'm not a morning person. Jenna's not a morning person. We've
But
got
I
a
do
morning
remember
baby.
though, she would same thing. She would be awake. She'd be so happy in the day. I'd be sending Jordan videos like she'd be laughing and smiling and so happy. And then I used to say she had like a witching hour. Like 5 o'clock would hit,
Yeah.
and it was like you flip a switch.
Downhill
She
from there.
screamed. He would get home and she would be screaming, and he was like, "I thought you said she was happy all day. Like
I
you
just-
sent videos of her
Until you walked
smiling."
in.
I assumed it was me, yeah.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
should take it personally.
Yeah.
I did, and still do. Thank you.
Callie goes through a witching hour between like 6 and 9, pretty much. And yeah, that's
Witching
perfect
hours.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess hours,
Yeah.
not hour. And that's the perfect time for when Eric gets home, because he gets
Yeah.
home around like 6:37.
And then you're like,
So it's
here's
like,
our-
yes,
Most
Here's
days
our
are
here's our
Saturdays.
baby.
Here's this
your
screaming
baby.
child.
yeah.
So, guys, I'm not a single mother. My husband is here at the table.
Hey,
You might not
Josh.
have heard him.
I'm here.
He's very, very podcast shy. So,
Josh, I'm going to put you on the spot though, because
Yeah.
you're in a little bit of a different situation. Josh works out of town 2
Yeah.
weeks on, 1 week home.
Yeah.
So that must be obviously really hard on you. What's your like favorite thing about coming home?
just to see a smile and give Amanda a break, pretty much.
As soon as he walks in the door, I'm like, here you go.
Yeah, Mama needs a break.
Mama needs a break, and Mama don't change any shitty diapers for 1 week while he's home. And
You get to sleep in the spare room.
Yeah.
And Austin's
You have to get the boards
queen-size-
up.
Preston's queen-size bed.
yeah.
Honestly, the diaper thing, that was pretty scary for me to think about too, because I'd never changed a diaper until we had.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to work a baby, how to hold a baby. I didn't know anything until we.
How to work
She's working now, right? But like that, even the first couple diaper changes, like it's when it's your own kid, it is like just picking up your own dog's poop too. It's not like you're picking up somebody else's,
exactly.
and there's even that like. It's okay. It's nothing to really worry about, and you just take it as it comes. Too,
And the poops, I did not know what the poops were gonna look like.
Yeah.
I would like open up a poop and like pull out like the book they give you, right? Of like this is what the baby's poop should look
You know how
like.
many times I've
And it was
Googled
like-
baby poop to see what...
Like I would
it's
compare
normal?
them, yeah, to be like, is this poop normal? Is this not normal? Like you're comparing to a book and photos, and
Whenever
was
they
not
have
what I
it pooped, you're
expected.
freaking out. You're like, oh my god, she hasn't pooped today. What am I supposed to do?
Today, this week.
I know.
Oh my god.
Chloe will
Every
go-
baby's different that
she
way,
will
I
go
guess.
3 days without pooping.
Wow.
And on day 3, you know like a blowout is coming. So you get
Just
ready.
the
You're like,
explosion at the
wait
worst
till Dad
time,
comes
though.
home.
You're like,
Wait
if
till
you
Dad
put
comes
it's
on
always
like the
gonna be at the
ugliest
worst
clothes
time.
because you know you're like, ooh, these are gonna go in the garbage after anyway.
If
So
Austin hasn't pooped that day, we know we're in for not a great evening. Like,
Yeah.
we know he's uncomfortable
Yeah.
Okay.
and he's gassy and
He
yeah,
poops
we can.
like 3 times a day.
Yeah,
Preston too.
Yeah, so
Preston
and
has
it's
pooped
like-
6 times in one
It's
day.
almost like a night. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be the least of your concerns though. Like it's just a normal thing as it comes. Like I was really worried about that,
Yeah.
but
Changing
looking
the
back
diaper?
at it,
Yeah.
you don't need to worry about that.
No.
Yeah.
I was in the same boat with the diapers. I didn't know what to expect. So then you get used to changing diapers, and we have a girl, so you have to learn how to wipe different things because I don't wipe those things.
Yeah, not regularly. Yeah, for sure.
But then it was really funny. She was maybe 5-6 months old, and we were taking care of my nephew for a night, and I had to go change his diaper. So he had a poop, so I'm like, okay, it's time to change. And he wanted Lauren to change him, but she was like, no, Jordan, you're changing his diaper. And probably because he's got
I was like,
certain
I've changed enough diapers
bits
today
that,
already.
you know, like I should be more familiar with. Lived with them
But we've
for a
never
few
wiped
years.
them before.
No. So it was weird because I opened his diaper up and I pulled the front down and I looked and it was almost like, well, a baby's not supposed to have a penis. Because I've only ever changed a female diaper. So then I'm like, he's pooped, right? So I'm like trying to maneuver this thing out of the way.
and there's creases beside the balls.
And oddly enough,
how do you get poop there?
if no one can believe this, I've never touched another man's penis. So you kind of like, is it okay to put it over here and then wipe around it? Yeah, it was
Do
weird.
what you gotta do, man.
just do what
Now
you gotta
this
do.
is a little unrelated because it's about our old dog, but it's kind of related to his reaction. When he knows it. But Jordan was at work one day and I was petting our dog and we hadn't had him very long and I just had this moment of fear and I called Jordan and I said, Jordan, Hunk has nipples.
Yeah, babe. I've got nipples.
I do too.
You should touch them every
They're
once in a
pretty
while.
useless, but
I
yeah,
thought
all of
only a
us at this
female
table.
dog
Yeah.
would have nipples.
I actually, do our dogs have nipples?
They do. They do.
Yeah, they do.
Trust me,
Under
they
their
do.
hair.
Oh,
I've never looked for him. I've never flipped Theo or Gizmo over and searched for the nipples. So.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But when I think of nipples on a dog, I'm thinking about a dog that's like just recently had puppies.
Exactly, that's what was going
Yeah,
through
that's
her
what
head.
I was
Yeah.
thinking. So I was in this panic
Like,
and
why
phoned
would he have
them.
nipples?
I thought that the rescue was lying to us and like maybe he was a girl.
Do you
How
guys?
does he have both?
Look down there.
Do you guys want to change the podcast name to the Dog Nipple Podcast?
I was actually seeing the real dog gang.
Yeah.
And we've got dog stories too.
Well, back to I guess us. Is there something that what has kind of like maybe not surprised you, but what's one thing you've noticed about us being moms?
noticed.
Besides
Well,
us all being able to function with no sleep, because
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
deserves
Honestly.
pat
And
back
multitask
to
and
all
clean
us
the
ladies.
house and do laundry.
You know what? It's built into you guys, and I just see it. Like,
Totally.
well, Chantel, like, it's like instinctive Chantel just came out, and like she knew how to do all this stuff, and like I felt like I was just learning from Chantel how to even do anything, because like it was honestly built into her this whole time.
It
how to
really
be
is,
along.
yeah. Before we got married, actually, when we were first dating, it was Christmas-ish. It was a birthday or something like that around Christmas. So we were with Lauren's family, and she was decorating a cake with her niece, and just the way she was decorating it and that, and I was like, yep, she's going to be a good mom. That's the one. I'm going to put a ring on that at some point here.
And Dennis even brought up like, oh, like I love it. You know, it's so great, and I didn't know that I would love it so much, but I knew that you would love it so much, and I knew that you'd be this fantastic mom. Like I knew that already before we had him, and it's like
That's so sweet. I'm almost tearing up. That is so
but
sweet.
for you were like, oh, I didn't know how much I would love it. I knew I'd like it, but I just love it. It's like, well, no, I knew.
I thought I would struggle with like the sleep thing or like just the constantness of it because we've been, flying solo and doing our own thing and vacations and whatever we want to do for so long that I wasn't sure if I would, feel a little not angry, but what I
felt
mean
the
about
same
it.
way.
But I don't there's nowhere I'd rather be.
Yeah, and I knew that like before you did. Like it's something that's what was almost surprising to me when you seemed surprised by it. I'm like, oh no, that's who you are. Like that's you. Yeah, you're a mom.
I just don't like to do things bad. That's all. Everything I do, I like to do well.
Yeah.
I think Eric was most surprised about how I can eat and hold the baby at the same time.
The multitasking. is real.
Multitasking.
I can do pretty much anything holding her. Anything.
Yeah,
She
I'm
agrees.
probably, in that case, I'm probably more surprised with me than I am with Lauren. I knew she could do it all, but it's the same thing. Like, I was changing laundry today with one hand, and I'm like, how in the hell did I just balance her? She almost flipped on my arms, and I caught her with some part of my arm.
Okay,
I don't know
that's
what
not
that
a good
was.
part of the story.
Let's cut that
I
part
was like,
out.
I didn't want to hear that part.
She's squirmy.
And he kept hold of her.
Yeah.
It's a
You know what you're
positive
doing.
thing. Yes. Yeah.
Laundry.
She had the safety harness on too, just in case she did fall,
Exactly.
right? So it's all good. Yeah.
Next thing I know, he's going to have a helmet on her just in case.
Yeah.
If she takes up frickin' gymnastics, she will wear a helmet. You crazy
So the
person.
funny part is I used to do gymnastics when I was younger. And so as soon as we've been like looking at the gymnastics classes, and you have to wait till they're 2 before you can register them. So I'm like, as soon as she turns 2, I'll be in there, and he's like, no, gymnastics is no sport for
there
kids.
was a-
They're gonna get hurt.
There was a girl the other day bouncing on the trampoline. She's like 40 feet in the air.
He's freaking
No.
out, and I'm like, oh, she's so good. He's like, Chloe's never gonna do that.
No, there's too much error.
Martial
So
But
you're
arts.
not
gonna be a
when you're
protective
good.
parent.
Yeah.
'Cause that's why the sounds of it. You're
Insanely protective. Yeah.
Eric said
Martial
the first
arts
thing
is
she's
as
gonna
soon
put
as
Callie
Callie's old enough to learn how to defend herself, that's the first
Yeah,
thing she's going
I've
to
been thinking about that
Honestly.
lately too.
She's
I
gonna
was like,
kick
we're
Having-
gonna put her
Kristen's
to
ass.
dance, and he's like, we're gonna put her
She can
into
do both.
kickboxing.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
could do
okay
both,
with that.
for
Yeah.
People always joke about that father with the gun mentality, but let me tell you, it's real. Once
I've been
you-
looking at
the
it,
second
yeah.
the second that you get a daughter and people are even joking about like people being their boyfriend and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm
I'm like, no.
I'm like,
yeah.
You know who her boyfriend is, right?
Yeah,
She already
I know.
has one.
She's got 12 boyfriends according to Facebook already. But yeah, like you started thinking about that for sure. I want her to be able to take care of herself. That's like as far as like for sports and stuff like that. I want her to learn how to defend herself. It's a big world out there, and
Yeah.
that's definitely first thing for her. She
But the-
agrees. She just said yes.
yeah, Dad.
Even if Chloe doesn't want to do martial arts, I'm like, anytime a boy comes to the door, if I walk up behind her, I don't think they're going to think too much.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, if you guys have anything else you want to add to our podcast, we probably, won't invite you on again. So you guys-
Depends how many hits this one gets.
Yeah,
I
I know.
guess, right?
This probably won't even get aired. Right?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
No.
Is the
it'll be
computer
good.
even turned on over there?
Yeah, surprise! It was just practice.
yeah, let's do it all again, but better.
One of the best things that I've
Make it
like
better.
Eric as a dad, and as a husband as well, is he's always made me feel really confident in myself, even afterwards, like after birth.
Oh yeah, you
I'm
kill
like,
it.
oh, I hate like all my stretch marks.
No.
I hate the way my body looks. I hate just everything pretty much. And he's always complimenting me and saying like, no,
You
you
gave
look
birth
great,
to a
you're
human
fine.
and you
like,
still look
yeah,
great.
like you look amazing. You're doing amazing,
Yes.
and like that really gets keeps me going and like feeling good about.
Any husbands who aren't doing that shouldn't be your husband. Honestly, you need to keep your wife motivated because she's doing so much.
Yeah.
So much.
And as the
every
mom,
day.
you have to be able to lean on your husband. Like as much as we say, like there's a lot of things that surprise you at the start, there's a lot of rough times where you're, you haven't slept and this baby's screaming and it's just, you're overwhelmed, right?
Yeah.
You're a new mom. You have no idea what you're doing. And so you have to be able to rely on them and be like, whatever you need. I remember just saying to you, like, I don't know how I'm ever going to sleep again. And I think you were like, okay, I will just take the baby. You go sleep for an hour. Like, you just have to be able to rely on them to help you through whatever it is because you're so overwhelmed as a new mom and you haven't slept and you're so tired and exhausted.
It's
so
a team effort for everything.
yeah, it
It
has
is,
to be the two of you. Even though maybe you can't feed her, you can do so many other things that either help her or help us as moms to be able to get through it.
Yeah, when I was saying I texted my dad about, like, I don't feel like I can do anything, he was like, oh, you can do a lot of stuff. It might not be with the baby right this second, but you can do everything else. So I take that, I do.
It's the whole
Start
family
doing
picture.
the
That's
dishes,
amazing
start
advice
doing
from
the
your dad.
laundry.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's
is
awesome.
good.
the only good advice he's ever given me.
Well, you're still alive, so you did something right. So
That's true, yeah.
So you gotta take that as it comes. It's funny because I'm actually going through that. Like I have that exact same feeling as you. Today was the first day that Callie actually had something different than breast milk. She had an avocado today, and that tells me now that I'm gonna be able to help out with the feeding more because I've gone through the exact same thing as you. She won't take anything except a breast.
And actually, Eric wasn't pleased with my feeding skills, so he actually took right over. He was like, "You're putting too much in."
Hey, if I can get in there now, like I'm
that
doing
can
what
be
I
your
can
thing.
because I haven't had the
Yeah.
opportunity to do that. We tried. That's another thing that happened was the first set of bottles we had that was $49.99 didn't work out enough. So Chantel said, "Oh, it must be the bottles that aren't working. So let's order these ones."
$50 bottle.
We probably spent, I bet, over $150 trying different baby bottles, and when it came down to it, it had nothing to do with the bottle itself at all. Our daughter just does not like taking anything except for breast, but today was amazing for me. It was a huge step because I saw her take food off a spoon and she loved it. So that tells me I was able to actually feed my daughter for the first time today.
That's so
awesome.
And it was-
That's really
That was a
Kelly.
huge step for me. I'm super stoked because I was going through the exact same thing that Jordan was. So it's cool to talk to somebody that actually went through that exact same feeling.
Yeah.
Hashtag dad gang.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Dad Mafia.
Guys,
Josh
what is
Dad
this?
Mafia.
Should we do a podcast?
Dad yeah, I need another one. That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
I'll sponsor it.
You provide the beer.
Josh, you just supervise, bro. You're doing a great supervision job there. That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's a foreman for a reason.
Everybody needs a supervisor.
Yeah.
Well, before these guys take over our podcast, thanks again, guys. You guys are our first guests, and I think you rocked it.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
you
having
guys
us.
Great
did.
job, guys.
Awesome, guys.
Thanks, husband.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Thanks for
I
having
mean,
us.
these guys, I have to say, from everything that we've already talked about on the podcast, they have put up with so much throughout pregnancy, throughout birth, throughout the process of
We've
now
got
having a baby.
good support system
So,
for sure.
thank
Yeah,
you to
thank
all the
guys.
husbands for everything that you've put up with
Yeah.
thus far and into the future.
Yeah.
There's still more.
It's
And
not
so
over
many
yet.
years to come.
It's not over
Yeah.
yet.
It's not over yet.
Oh, she still has to date at some point. So where do you buy guns here?
I don't know, but we'll find
on
them
that
together,
note-
buddy.
Yeah.
The Real Mom Gang out.